And welcome back to Rupy's Break from Reality. Can you guess where I am? Yeah, I finally made it to New York. And I'm on Times Square. It's everything I imagined it to be. And frankly, more. And welcome back to Rupy's Break from Reality, where, as you can tell from the sign behind me, I'm at the US Open. Oh, and yeah, as you can tell from the cap. Standing just outside Arthur Ashe, and Louis Armstrong is just over there. Very, very cool. I love New York. I know that's such a cliche. I'm not going to buy the t-shirt though, but I do love it. What a great place. What an awesome place. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about this greatest city in the world thing. I've only been here a day. Love it already. Only a ground pass today, but I should be able to get onto Grandstand. And I think I'll struggle to get onto Ashe, bearing in mind the lineup today. But hopefully get onto Grandstand, see some men's doubles. Well, I think I've finally found something that should give me an edge on court. What do you reckon? Oh no, hang on. Some forehand. Oh, good ball. Backhand. Oh, with this thing I'm gonna have to go double hand.
Nathaniel Lemons and Jackson Withrow. And their opponents from India, Rohan Bopana, and from Australia, Matthew Esmond.
Go on, Bubsy. How you doing? So, that's the US Open. It is only Thursday. It's the men's doubles final tomorrow. But I won't be able to watch it because it's ticketed all in Louis Armstrong. A little bit beyond my budget with the resale prices, but should be a good final. Rohan Bopana, Matt Ebden versus Joe Salisbury, up the Brits, and Rajiv Ram. Should be a good one. But for me, I'm going to head back to the hotel and then do a bit more sightseeing. Do a little bit more touristy stuff. And welcome back to Rupy's Break from Reality, where I am still in New York. I forgot to wear my proper glasses, so I've got the glasses that I wear in bed, because if they get, crumpled up, it's not going to be as big an issue as if I ruin the Dieters. First world problems. Anyway, for fans of Seinfeld, this place will need no introduction. For those who don't, well, I'll tell you. This was the exterior location for the cafe that the cast were always in. It's only the exterior location. The interior is about 3,000 miles away in California. Good though. I'm going to go in and see if I can get a cup of coffee. So this building behind me is 129 West 81st Street here in New York. Well, on Manhattan in fact. And this is the Seinfeld apartment. Well, technically Seinfeld and Kramer's apartment, but this is where so much of the action took place. In theory. I mean, it actually took place in LA, which is, a few thousand miles that way, I think. That way. Anyway, a few thousand miles away. But this is where the exterior location was. Now then, I am at the Nexus of the Universe here in New York. What do I mean by the Nexus of the Universe? Well, if you know, you know. But for those who don't, this, going up and down that way, is First Avenue. And this, going perpendicular, is First Street. First and first, the Nexus of the Universe. Stay alive! I will find you! Stay alive! If you know, you know. And if you've never watched Seinfeld, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you do, you'll know. Well, no one told me life was going to be this way. Did you get it? Did you get it? If you get it, we can be friends. People of a certain age will remember this. Who are you going to call? Now, this building here, 33 Liberty Street, so just a couple of blocks up from Wall Street, is New York Federal Reserve Bank. So in Die Hard 3, this was the site of the main heist. Oh look, that's what that siren is. He's closing the doors. Maybe they're expecting some problems. Or it's just that there's a bearded Indian trying to film a video in front of it. Apparently, we cause problems. Who knows? But anyway, the New York Federal Reserve Bank. Die Hard 3. This is where it happened. And as the sign tells us, there are 5 stories underground, and that's where the gold is. Well, the gold is reposited. And in Die Hard 3, they say it's more than is held at Fort Knox. Who knows? I don't know. I couldn't get into Fort Knox. They're not going to let me into this. We'll just have to take Hollywood's word for it. So, we're doing our James Bond locations, this time from Live and Let Die, and here on the corner of West 125th Street and Lenox or Malcolm X Boulevard is where Bond was first spotted going into Harlem. I'm actually in Harlem at the moment, and it's actually very, very pleasant. I walked into an optician. I will put the name up earlier, and they gave me some lens cleaners and cleaned my lenses. Just very, very friendly. Thank you so much. Onward. So remember the scene in Live and Let Die, where James Bond is unceremoniously dumped out of the Filet Sol and finds himself in a derelict lot, and then gets saved by Struther, who it turns out is a CIA agent and not a nefarious character as we were led to believe earlier. Well, this is what remains of that derelict lot here on West 119th Street. Actually, it's turned into East 119th Street here. 50 years of progress. Look at that. Not quite so derelict anymore. On we go. And this, just where Central Park, which is behind me, meets Martin Luther King Boulevard, which is up there, is where Bond first enters Harlem in Live and Let Die. Now, in Live and Let Die, James Bond finds himself at the Filet Sol restaurant. And that Chinese restaurant is where that was all filmed. It's clearly not the Filet Sol anymore. It probably never was, actually. James Bond is fictional. Even I recognise that, much as it pains me to say. But that's where it was filmed. And then he was transported underground, having ordered a drink, which he never got. The barman just took it and drank it. Staff. Just can't get the staff these days. And then was transported a couple of miles that way to that deserted lot where Struther rescued him, which we've already seen. It's a bit complex underground, if that's like, you know, real, but it's fictional. James Bond is fictional. I know. Blaspheme. So I'm just off 5th Avenue on East 65th Street, and this building here, number 33, in Live and Let Die, was the occult voodoo store. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get any dolls in there, but I may be able to get a replacement too. Who knows? But they're shut now, so. So, I'm just off Madison Avenue again, or 6th Avenue, as sometimes it's called. I think I called it 6th Avenue before, but Madison would probably be more accurate. Anyway, on East 69th Street, and this building here, number 25, was Kananga's embassy. And if you've not seen Live and Let Die, Kananga is the big bad who, oh, spoiler alert, sorry, I should have said, who ends up having an overinflated opinion of himself. But that was Kananga's embassy here in New York City, which I love. It's amazing. More later. Now this building behind me, as the flags may give away, is the UN building here in New York. Should be one of the most important buildings in the world, but I think, or unfortunately after the last couple of years, I think the UN's reputation has taken a little bit of a battering for ineffectiveness. Almost like my voice over the sound of this siren. Hope it's nothing too serious. Now, Bond fans, you thought I'd forgotten, but the UN is also where one of the delegates dies at the beginning of Live and Let Die. Another Bond location. Welcome back to Rupy's Break from Reality, where I'm in New York. As you can probably tell from part of the skyline, there's Brooklyn and whatnot over there. The Brooklyn Bridge is just along there. Can't really see it very close. But the reason I'm here is because this road here is FDR Boulevard. And in Live and Let Die, a little way up there, Bond and his car get accosted by a baddie. If you remember the scene, his driver gets a little poison dart shot into his forehead or neck from a wing mirror, of all things. And then they drive along, the car speeds up, Bond tells the driver to take it easy, Charlie. And then, when the poison takes effect in the driver's head, he crashes on those steps, which are just behind the cab, timing it, which have now been covered up. But this building here is Sullivan and Cromwell, firm of lawyers. So he crashes over those steps and then crashes into a parked car, just where that Chrysler is. Live and Let Die. All happened here. Well, some of it happened here. This is very cool. I love it. So, picture the scene. James Bond's car's just crashed into the Sullivan and Cromwell building, just a few hundred yards over there. And he calls Felix Leiter, and he says, Felix, you know how I hate to be a bother. And Felix picks up the phone, and he's sitting in this building here. This is Felix Leiter's New York office building, here on Wall Street. Look, oops. I know, it's so cool. And look, there is Wall Street. Let's just, oh, there you go. You can just see the flag, and oh, there we go. It just becomes a little bit clearer. The heart of certainly the American financial world, if not the world. I'm still gonna hold out a flag for London. And welcome back to Rupy's Break from Reality, where, continuing a theme that started way back when, I'm hanging around outside a very tall building. This time in New York. This is the Edge, and look at that for a view. Isn't that just spectacular? We're not quite at the top of the building either. Alright, let's do this. There you go. So this is in a new part of town, Hudson's Yard. Well, actually, I mean, it's always been there, but they've redeveloped it. They created this. I'd love to be able to identify some of the buildings, but I have no idea. Oh, actually, that's a lie.
Oh, New Yorker.
That one. Oops. That one is the Empire State Building, I think. Okay, so we're at the Edge, and this is Chris, who would like to be in one of the videos. So Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing here?
Well, originally I'm from Slovakia, but I lived in Ireland all my life, so you can say I'm half Irish, half Slovak.
There you go.
But yeah, I came to New York City because I love the place. So come here, guys, and subscribe, like.
There we go. Well, clearly Chris is going to subscribe and like.
I will.
What a great city. It's awesome. Welcome back to Rupy's Break from Reality, where, continuing the theme of me hanging around at the top of very tall buildings, I'm at the top of the Empire State Building, the granddaddy of them all. There's Manhattan in the background, and you can just about make out the Statue of Liberty. Well, I can just about make out the Statue of Liberty, you probably can't. But the views from up here are, as one would expect, from the 86th floor, spectacular, and I'm not even at the top yet. So now, I'm at the top, or as close to the top as I can get. 102nd floor. It's a very long way up. I'll do one of those videos where I pan from the ground level up. So this is one of the two 9/11 memorial pools. you know, I still can barely believe that 22 years ago there were two buildings, two enormous buildings, stood right here, and they've now been replaced by that very impressive building there. It occurred to me yesterday, as I was flying back from Montreal, that I was flying on September 11, flying into New York, in fact, on September 11. And it did make the journey slightly eerie, but obviously landed safely, no problem. And yesterday there was, as you may have seen on my previous Instagram post, there was quite a crowd here yesterday. The VP was here in the morning, but I was still in the air. But it's a very touching memorial.